The Rants of Izzo on Spreey Media, Spreey.com. We're setting all good things up here. I gotta type this in for this stuff. Let's see. It's the same bullshit every state you go to. Okay, let's try that.
It literally is.
That's what we're talking to you today. Oh, I should stop.
I mean, varying degrees, I guess. Yes.
Eric, could you do me a favor? Because you're the host of Report and Opine, and there's a ton of awesome content on Spreey.com that they can find. Could you plug your show a little bit, please?
Yeah, of course. Spreey.com, Report and Opine. I'll be honest with you, I haven't fully figured out the Spreey platforms, but I've been talking with the big man in charge, I guess.
Yeah.
And go watch those videos. I mean, it's kind of like this, right? It's stream of consciousness, maybe a couple bullet points here and there, but you really don't need it. I mean, when you're analyzing some of these media reports, it just becomes crystal clear that it's not really on the level, to say the least.
No, and you do a great job. It's Report and Opine. You got a book out too, right?
I do have a book out, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued. We'll call it a coffee table book. It's a conversation starter. It's 260, 8.5 by 11 front and back full color pages documenting the demise of New York City. So if you don't want to read any words, those pictures speak 1,000 words.
And no words. Words are bad. We hate words. Holy cow. All right, guys, for all those of you who are new or whatnot, we got a chat going at, the Rants of Izzo chat over on Telegram, because all you guys are whatever, I'm giving you a little leeway. You want to watch on this platform? I know that you're chatting other stuff. Just go to Telegram. We all have one platform for you to do that. Spreey.com is your one-stop shop for all things freedom of speech, full freedom of speech. You literally want to shop. There's swag. There's some meat you can get, like USDA non-hormonal meat stuff. Is great. I haven't looked into it too much, but I am on the carnivore diet, so I should. Articles, past shows, podcasts. Report and Opine, The Dumb Show, the Burn Pit Podcast, Shannon Joy. I was on with Mark Lobliner and Alan last night for Evening Rants. Fucking awesome time, too, as well. And there's a free speech platform, a social media platform that you could basically, it's like a Facebook, but it's better. So, all right, kids, let's have a show here. Rantsofizzo.com, Spreey.com. Welcome. Be offended. I don't give a shit.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on this show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go.
Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your hosts, Dominick Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
All right, kids, happy Tuesday. Rants of Izzo here on Spreey Media. Good evening or good afternoon in the chats. Sarah, Bev, April Schoen, not feeling too well today? No? Okay. And everybody new in the chat. There's a Rants of Izzo chat. The Rants of Izzo show chat's available on Telegram. If you guys use that, everybody on there can get in there. Eric Butler, the host of Report and Opine, kind of hit me today. I actually wanted to talk about this because I'm self-centered. Anybody who doesn't know the show knows I'm a pretty selfish fucking guy. But I'm the Chicago area, right? And I pay attention to what happens locally and all that jazz. You are pretty, national, dude. You've lived in New York, California, Texas. I want to know, are we seeing the same stuff everywhere? Or when you were, did you have hope or what? I really want to know the feeling you have. I get this scum feeling. I live 20 minutes outside of Chicago. And whenever I go into Chicago, it's a gross feeling. It's a heavy feeling. It's a very weighing negative energy. I don't like it. And 20 years ago, when people were like, "Oh, you're from the suburbs," a lot of us guys, like, you'll get people like in Naperville, which is, you know, an hour outside of Chicago west, and like, "I'm from Chicago." No, you're not. It's like people love the suburb guys love to say they're from Chicago when they're not. I've never been prouder to say I'm a suburb dude, because I don't want any part of that. Is it like that in other states, New York and California and Texas now, or what's it like?
Yeah, well, to your point, there's several memes from the Bay Area where I grew up of people saying I'm from San Francisco, and then it's a little reel, comedy reel. I'm from San Francisco. Oh, what part? What neighborhood? Oh, you know, San Francisco. Oh, but yeah, me too. But what neighborhood? And then of course she says I'm from Walnut Creek, because people are, for whatever reason, ashamed to admit that they're from outside of the city. So that is definitely true. But as far as New York, I wouldn't say this heavy feeling, this feeling of like being sort of ostracized, right? I mean, they tried to gaslight people they did gaslight people through the roof in New York. I would say it's a lot of places, but it's not everywhere. I remember when I first left New York. So, I mean, it's weird, right? I grew up in California, went to New York after college, and through like the beginning of, or the end of 2020, which was still the beginning of Rona, I guess. And I went to South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to be specific. And it wasn't like that. It was damn near 2019, bro. Like most of the stores had like a little sign on the window, like, "Oh, wear a mask if you want." Versus you go to LA or New York, they would cover the front doors, the windows of the store. "Must wear a mask. It's required," blah, blah. So it was really weird. And then you go to South Dakota, and it's like, I mean, as corny as it sounds, it's like old time, bro. There's guys riding around on a motorcycle with no helmet. There's people riding, going in stores with no mask, going into the gym. So it's definitely not everywhere. But to your point, it's like yes and no at the same time, I guess, or no. It's a lot of places, but not everywhere. Like, I don't know if you saw recently the story out of Houston of a transformer.
Oh boy, go ahead.
Who ran over a guy with her,
Mm-hmm.
with the car of a natural woman. A man dressed up as a lady ran over a guy twice, kissed him.
I know.
And,
I know. Good.
And I'm thinking like, okay, in my head, in my California brain, I still, for better or for worse, I still spent most of my life in California. So I'm thinking, okay, Texas will be cool. And it is. I mean, it is light years ahead of New York or California, but they still have these pockets of crazy people. We saw the race baiting mayor, right? The mayor of Arcola, Texas, which is just south. It's like 45 minutes south of Houston, who said, "Oh, somebody sent me a noose and they said to drop out the race." And then he got
Bubba, whatever his name is or whatever. Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Smollett, Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, Bubba Smollett.
Yeah, bro. These people. He got, the point of the story is he cried racism. You could see it from a mile away that it was a complete hoax.
It was like
6 weeks ago.
It was the thing you pulled the garage down by. So I'm like, oh my gosh. For those who don't know, disturbing video footage shows up the moment a crazed woman, it's a man, hit a man with his car, then backed over him before getting out and kissing his lifeless body, then stabbing him repeatedly. Suspects have identified authorities as 21-year-old Karen, Karon, because why wouldn't be, Karan Fisher, who reportedly is a transgender woman, so it's a kid. Stephen Anderson, 64, was on his way to pick up the male in Houston neighborhood on May 3rd when a white vehicle... Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Hang on. For those who don't know, the suspect is a trans woman. Okay. They don't say trans woman. They say woman. They kind of say, trans woman there. The suspect is black. Okay.
The car was white, though.
They say it. Right. They say the fucking car is white. Oh, my God. Because they got to get that. That's subconscious shit, dude, where they've got to get it. Well, the car was white, so we got to get the outrage going there.
And get you into a headspace, right? So, like, you may or may not even be reading closely, but you see the word white and it's like in the ether. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you start to empathize for the person. Well, they kissed him. They clearly didn't have any ill intentions to him. The vehicle sped down the road, appeared to swerve in order to strike him. Footage was obtained by the media. Then the car reversed and struck Anderson a second time, shoving his body further down the street. Suddenly, the driver returned to the scene and flipped Anderson's body over, straddled him, and kissed him before stabbing him 9 times. Couple different things, I'm thinking. Let's just say if there's 2 avenues, if this is 2 avenues, it's either the suspect was known to Anderson or he wasn't known to him, right? If he was not known and this was just a crime of insanity, I would argue that just like with the white little bastard school shooters who are on so much medication for their severe issues that their suburban parents can't, seem to lock down by parenting them down, that we need to look at, did this trans woman have hormone replacement therapy? And if she's 20, he's 20, that's a raging testosterone hormone. And I've said this many times. As a grown man who's on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, I got on it at 39 because I just was in a kind of a meh mood. Didn't care. Didn't have erection problems. My body fat was increasing a little bit, but I just didn't feel like me. On testosterone, I would say I feel normal. Off testosterone, I've been off for 2 months now. I'm just like, I'm in a great mood. I feel good. I don't train as much as I want to. My body composition changes a little bit, lose weight or whatever. But I can definitely tell if just by a libido increase that hormones do change your psychology, right? So if you're putting a feminine hormone, what is estrogen in your body as a man, completely canceling yourself out at 20 and then replacing it, that's got to be something. The second part, and then I want to get your opinion on this, is what if? What if, homeboy Anderson just wasn't returning her calls anymore? And he had that post-nut clarity, and he's like, he wasn't getting any brown sugar from Karen lately. And Karen's like, I will not be ignored, Dan. Points if you get that reference. And this was Karen who had all the pillow talk and, I love you. I'm going to leave my wife for you. And yeah, roll over, baby. And I love your man pussy and all this shit. And then now Karen's like, fuck you. And hell hath no fury like a trans woman scorn.
Yeah. I kind of lean towards, right. The truth is oftentimes stranger than fiction now, but I kind of lean towards they probably knew each other. Right. I have no idea. But I kind of lean towards they probably knew each other. And you notice how, right, in the article you were reading or referenced, they say woman, right? Because they want to completely dilute and conflate woman and trans woman and all this stuff, which we see all the time with immigrant, right? They constantly talk about immigration. Even this weirdo pinko commie rag, AZ Central says, bro, they're literally they're going to allow the people are going to vote on whether they're going to criminalize illegal immigration. So, I mean, that's already, you already lost it. But I also noticed, and I was doing a little bit of, is it research? I don't know. I was just scanning through, and I noticed that because I didn't know the details of the story. I still don't know all the details of the story, obviously, but when I Google transgender murder Texas, and what you'll notice is that the story does come up, but then the next 2 pages is all of, here's a list of the transgender people that were killed since 2020, and it's like,
but can we acknowledge how those transgender people are probably killed? I will say this.
No, you can't. Actually.
Oh yeah, I'm going to. I will venture to guess that a good 95%, all of them, every single one of them, was at the hands of somebody whose head was fucked up by the misrepresentation of sexual promiscuity. In other words, you're out at a bar, you're drunk, Jane Doe walks in. Jane Doe starts flirting with the most desperate guy in the bar. Next thing you know, they're making out. Next thing you know, he's like, holy shit, for the first time in 20 years, I'm going to get laid. Slides his hand down his pants and feels a fucking ginger root, right? And he's like, what is this? And then, I thought you loved me. And then all of a sudden, that's where now you're screwing with somebody who has no idea how to process this. Is going to be like, what? You're a man? That's where that crime of passion happens. I will venture most every single one of them is like that. Or it's like the Silence of the Lambs, the coveting. You covet something you see every day. You've probably got somebody who sees a trans woman every day and cannot come to terms with their own sexuality on it. And is like, shit, why am I attracted to this? This is a man. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then has to fucking rid himself of it. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but if you're going to drive down a one-way street backwards doing 55 to 60 miles an hour and not wear a seatbelt and then get ejected from your car, you're taking that risk, right? Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. It's like anything else. If you're a trans woman looking as good as that, and you're trying to pass yourself off as a woman without disclosing, hey, just to let you know, if you find me attractive, I have to tell you something. Then that's a fucking problem waiting to happen, man. It's a risk.
It reminds me of that Sopranos episode. I don't know if you remember when Christopher Moltisanti, he's like advising on a Hollywood movie in the show, right? So it's a fake movie in the show. And he tells the story of how another one of the New Jersey gangsters absolutely tortured a man who was pretending to be a woman. And you can see, and this was old, obviously Sopranos is old, but you can tell that the Hollywood producers are like stunned by the fact that this New Jersey Italian gangster had he like set him on fire. It was crazy. That's what it reminds me of. He's like, yeah, they start making out at the bar and the guy's got a pecker. And it's just, that's what it reminds me of. And yeah, it sounds terrible, right? You're not applauding this. I don't think anybody's applauding this, but what did you think was going to happen? You thought he was going to say, oh, that's okay. I love you. We accept everybody. Well, you know what? That's just not the case, unfortunately.
No, people have issues with their shit. I don't know why this is such a problem. And there's the other thing too. Like, I don't know why we can't acknowledge. There's the racist, the sexist, the homophobic, all that shit. I think they're kind of different on the spectrum. Homophobic, fear of gay men and women, right? And that would be somebody who's struggling with their own sexual identity, and all of a sudden, I don't want to be around them, and shit. And that's that issue, right? The racist thing is, I think I'm better than them, which I don't, dude. I think more.
Ask Kathy Hochul about that.
Yeah, well, that was a phenomenal. I got to play that clip. That was a phenomenal expression of fucking racism. But I just don't get why we have such a problem. Like, why do we feel the incessant need to expose everything on two ends of the spectrum? With the Sopranos. After he died, the guy who played Phil Leotardo. Vincent was his last name. I can't remember his first name. He was in Goodfellas. He played Billy Bats in Goodfellas. Go home and get your fucking shine box. That guy. They completely shit on his character, Phil Leotardo, and said, yeah, Phil was gay and Phil was coming out of the closet. It's like, wow, you waited until this man died and then shit on one of the best characters that season has had. And then I was watching yesterday on social media, people who are zooming in at the DMV. Somebody has their phone over somebody's shoulder and is reading their text messages and zooming in on it. And the guy is, these fucking slow moving N-words and blah, blah, blah. And they got to blast it up online. Doesn't bother me, dude. I don't care what somebody feels for another culture. I care how they act about it. So I don't fucking know where we're going with that. But here's Kathy Hochul making a statement about, the constituents of her state.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Yeah.
Young black kids growing up.
Yeah. Did you feel that way? Do you know what a computer is, buddy?
I have known for what a computer is for many years now, but then she sort of walked that back, which leads me to believe, and this is age-old, well, my question that I ask myself every day for many years now, are they stupid or evil? I guess there's a little mix of both, but she thought in that moment, I get it, whatever, you're at a conference and maybe you don't have enough notes or you don't like, so you're just spewing stuff. But did you really think that was going to work, or you really thought that the black kids in the Bronx, and I also noticed, so the black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is. And then you have Jennifer Siebel Newsom at the very same conference, the wife of who I like to call Governor Scumbag Bang Your Wife Gavin Newsom, because of course he slept with his best friend's wife way back in the day. But Newsom's wife was at the very same conference and said that there was an excess of social media, which could be causing depression, which is true, right? I mean, this culture of comparisons and fame and all that stuff could very well be an issue. In fact, I could argue that it is an issue. But how at the same conference can you have one woman say, well, a huge portion of the population in New York doesn't even know what a computer is, and then you have the governor's wife of California saying, oh, there's too much social media. So which is it? Do they not know at all, or is it too much?
The two states you come from, right? And this is the question that I'm asking is, we know it's clearly the people's fault. It's the residents and the people who live there and work there, their fault. Because if it was a Republican who had said that, they'd be resigning today because
they'd be arrested.
100%. If you look at the entitlement Gavin Newsom has, and the whole French Laundry thing was an issue. The fact that his restaurants, I guess, are not meeting the minimum wage standards. He is constantly on social media criticizing other states, and people allow him to get away with it. This Governor Kathy Hochul, who that is a clear, it is as clear as day. And this is what I don't get. You get photograph after photograph after photograph of Trump, who before he was in politics was the biggest supporter of the black community. I mean, it blows me away how nobody wants to talk about what he did for Jennifer Hudson and took care of her whole family after her mother was murdered. I do vaguely remember that. He put her up in the Trump tower for free for like a year or something. So you could have all those stories, doesn't make a difference. Joe Biden, who in a session of Congress reads, now it's a statement he was reading verbatim, so he wasn't actually saying it, but reads the N-word, hard R, without even flinching, without even saying, sorry, I have to read this, it's in the statement, which shows he's in a position of feeling elite that nothing's going to happen to me. We've heard him with the comments, hey, unless you have a slight Indian accent, you can't own a Dunkin' Donuts. He's a racist. And I'm not saying he hates other races. I'm saying him and Kathy Hochul are living proof that those aren't Freudian slips. They actually think they're better than. The problem I have is, why do the people still allow this? Why are the people... that's the question, dude.
I don't know. I do think, and I remain hopeful that it is starting to get exposed left and right, whether that was Trump who kicked down the sandcastle, whether that's the people just finally catching up with the idea that the media is completely lying at every turn, whether they're literally just paying 50% more. I made the joke that, an Arizona iced tea cost me $2, which doesn't sound like that much, but that's a 100% increase over the past 2 years, right? So something's happening, and people like to come on my Instagram and, they send me messages, oh, well, you voted for this, which is true, right? I mean, to your point, people did, I guess, quote unquote, vote for these people. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be able to vote your way out of it.
No.
For the millionth time, do you think the same people that shut down your businesses and forced a pharmaceutical in your arm and closed your kids' schools while they were at the French Laundry, while their kids went to private school, do you think they're going to say, oh, well, we were outvoted this time. I guess we'll go back and come up with an idea that people like, or are they going to lie, cheat, and steal to maintain that power and then blame you when you call it out? We remember the gentleman, or the thug, who was sleeping in his car with more than 300 mail-in ballots when Gavin Newsom was facing his first recall. And they said, oh, well, this is, it's not enough. It's not enough fraud. It's like, bro, this was a dope dealer with pills and guns and ballots sleeping in his car outside of a 7-Eleven. But that's just not enough, right? Okay, so what about all of the people that might have been doing the same thing that just didn't get caught, right? So you're not going to just vote your way out of it. They've been handed the power, and they're not going to relinquish it, certainly willingly. And, I don't want to be an extremist or an accelerationist, but there's only one or two ways,
dude,
that this stops.
I know. You have to think about that for a second. I mean, I'm trying to put myself in like the most parallel scenario. Like you, and we did this to ourselves by taking away the greatest consequence, or the greatest training tool of classical conditioning. Do something and physical correction will be made, right? Back in school, mouth off on somebody, they're going to come up and you have a problem, and then you're going to catch a sock in the jaw. And then classically conditioned, man, I just learned never to talk shit about somebody that I can't defend myself to.
Mike Tyson said famously, right? Everybody
100%
has something to say until they get punched in the face.
100%.
Right? So I don't think he's it doesn't take a rocket scientist. He's not the most articulate man on the planet, right? But he kind of had a point with that one.
We had a much better time in the Old West, where you could get shot for calling somebody a liar. And when you go outside and you pistol dueled, right? So you were probably on your best behavior back then, or you didn't associate with people. The second you started to disarm people, I don't know if you've had this exposure yet to Texas, but I've only been there a couple times, and I think everybody carries down there. There has to be an air of probably you're going to be on your better behavior, because I don't know if I can get shot by somebody who doesn't like what I say, in fucking line. Or I would think that if you're carrying, that people are just more courteous and kind because they know, hey, I have the ability to protect myself at all costs. When you elevate that all the way up to, a government position, how the hell are there not pitchforks and torches outside of Gavin Newsom's home or any other corrupt governor going, no, we're not doing a fucking recall because it doesn't work. It's not done. The only way to remove you is by force. And then that goes back into the whole gun debate. But I don't want it to happen. I like living a comfortable life. I do not see any other way out of this shit than by somebody who is in a position of authority to go, man, I better do exactly what I was elected to, or I could face the angry mob and be killed.
Another thing is, like, people pretend like they're going to do it. Like, we remember when Nancy Pelosi went to the hair salon during Rona, and you had a bunch of, 60-year-old women outside of her house with hair dryers. And it's like, well, that's not really going to get the job done. Do you think Nancy Pelosi is scared of people I guess she's actually pretty old. She's in her 80s. So 20 years younger than her with arts and crafts signs and hair dryers. That's not going to scare them. And it's the same thing with recently the story of San Francisco giving free booze to alcoholics. And you got this guy, this tech engineer CEO, who went viral on Twitter for sort of exposing this program. And then if you read the thread, he still tiptoes. He's like, well, I'm a Democrat and I appreciate government programs, but this isn't working. It's like, well, you're still capitulating, right? So you don't like this, but you're still, you have to make sure that they know you're still on their team, I guess. So that level of tepidness, that level of like fence sitting is not going to work. So you're a tech CEO. Well, this needs to stop. But the rest of the things you guys are doing is good. And it's just, it's completely on a different plane. And that's why nothing ever gets done, is because even when they try to take a stand, they still tiptoe around it, which is a testament to how powerful that regime is. Look at the Kennedy family, right? Like people have made the argument for years that maybe the CIA or the FBI or the government, whatever, had something to do with the elimination of John F. Kennedy.
Well,
and then you
now
got
we
his
know
whole
they
family.
did. Now we know they did. Now Tucker Carlson. Isn't it amazing?
Exactly.
Tucker Carlson breaks that 2 years ago. Nobody gives a shit. You would think the single greatest story of public coming together saying, holy shit, our government killed a sitting president, and nobody cares. No one.
In fact, we know what they're capable of, so we are going to obey their demands. And maybe not really related, but I didn't realize that at least one, if not two of his sisters has that very same like weird vocal fry thing, which leads me to believe.
Does.
Yeah. You guys are inbred, or
dude, the whole fucking Kennedy family. Why do we do this? Why are we only appoint or elect the elite? Yeah, the elite, right? Select the elite. So, The Rock needs to run for office. What the fuck is wrong with you? I was pro Schwarzenegger years and years and years ago, because to me, he represented the American dream. Guy comes from Austria, big dumb name. Back in an era when people said, if you bodybuild, you're stupid, couldn't speak, became the #1 bodybuilder of all time, then switched over to fucking cinema, became the #1 action star. I mean, eclipsed John Wayne. He was my generation's John Wayne. And then married into American royalty. This guy is, now it's like he made a deal with the devil. I can't stand him for what he said about screw your freedom. But the Kennedys, why? Why are people supporting a man, RFK Jr., just because you like his policy on the vaccines? You don't know what he's said in the past. You don't realize, and I like the people who are like, well, his family denounced him and they're backing Biden. It's fucking family, dude. If you don't think there's shit behind the scenes, you're out of your mind. Ted Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, JFK, Maria Shriver, JFK Jr. Why do we have to have American royalty? It's a fucking, why? We left that, didn't we, in 1776? But, we have
I thought that was the point.
I don't get this. I don't get this shit at all.
I did want to, I don't know, a couple minutes ago, you talked about the homophobia or whatever. And, I think about like maybe a more common phobia, like arachnophobia, fear of spiders, or fear of snakes. I don't even know what that one's called. And
sure. Stick
Stick with me here. This is a free speech platform, so I can say whatever the hell it is I want.
Yes, you can.
And I have zero fear of homosexuals. I mean, if I'm 100% honest, it's kind of gross, right? Like, I mean, you have this guy, I don't know if you saw this clip, went viral a couple days ago. This guy, this newscaster who says, he comes out, he's like,
the black guy. Black guy.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit.
Like, his co-host or whatever, they like start crying on camera. And it's like, you mean to tell me that you got on TV and basically, I mean, you professed your love of men for whatever reason, which of course you don't see on the other side, right? You don't see Gavin Newsom, who loves the LGBTQs and loves abortion. You don't see him saying, well, yeah, I'm straight, I have 4 kids, I stepped out on my wife, but you should be gay, and if you're not going to be gay, have a baby and then kill it, right? They don't do any of that. But my point here is, I guess maybe I'm all over the place, but I'm switching gears a little bit. The notion of transphobia, right? Okay. Does the idea of a transgender chick with a dick scare me? No. However, the notion, the mindset that these people have conditioned is kind of scary. I mean, they have propagated this like zombie apocalypse. They have people scared. You see the clips, and it's subsided a little bit now, but you see the clips from the past year or two of these girls saying, no, I can't say that on camera. I even talked to some kids in downtown Houston just last weekend, young kids, college kids, and they were off camera. They were based, and they were like, yeah, this is crazy. These people are nuts. But they literally told me, well, I can't do any political interviews because I want to keep my job, or I want to get a job when I get out of college. And I'm just thinking, well, that's how it will never change, because you are letting them win left and right. And I say this, I don't want to be like labeled as a hater or anything, but I don't know if you know Liberal Hive Mind, his faceless YouTube channel. He has great videos, good research, good clips, millions of subscribers, thousands of videos. And I'm just like, you got to show your face, right? I mean, you have the facts to back up everything you say. So just let them know that you are behind it, because if you don't, that only lets that gives them an out, right? That gives them an out. They can say, well, this guy doesn't, he won't even. It's like, you need to take a stand and tell people, this is what's happening. Here's how I know it's happening. But you hide behind this avatar. Nobody knows who you are. And that is only giving them ground. But I said all that to say, it is a little frightening that this mob of radical gender ideologists, and I come from San Francisco. I went to college in San Francisco. It was not like this. But now we're at the point where they have beaten people and scared people into submission. And that is a little scary, bro.
I don't know what the term is where you like don't think about red Volkswagens. Then all of a sudden you see them all over the place. It's like you couldn't care less about red Volkswagens, but now all of a sudden it's planted in your seat, in your head, boom, and it's all over the place. I talked about it for the last several weeks. I don't remember racism in the 80s and 90s. I just don't. I remember it was a part of our culture like crazy. Music, pop culture, TV. I mean, shit, the Cosbys were our family. Fucking unbelievable. My parents watched it with us. When it comes down to the trans community, we had this guy who was going through the hormonal changes, who was in the Taco Bell window. I think when I first started driving, I would go there. And yeah, you could totally tell that he was going through some hormonal changes, and we didn't care. We didn't fucking care. I had a neighbor who's down 2 streets down. I don't know if the guy's still there. Shit. He was there when I was growing up. First he thought he was a punk rocker with the long hair, and then you kind of saw the swelling of the chest and the long, bag lady fingernails. Okay. Doesn't bother me. One of my favorite fucking human beings on the planet, who has literally become one of my best friends, is Lola Christina, trans woman. And the first interview I've ever did with her, and this is when I'm like, I'm not calling your fucking pronouns and shit. She flat out says, I'm a biological male. I was born a biological male. I am not a woman. I choose to live my life like a woman. And I went, that is the most common sense, rational shit I've ever fucking heard. And we had the discussion. She's like, she can't stand the people who fucking don't make the effort. Like, if you saw Lola, you'd be like, that's not a guy. There's no fucking way. That's not a man. So if she walked into a women's bathroom, I'm like, I don't give a shit. But if I slap a wig on and go into the women's bathroom, it's a fucking problem. I think the problem is for the last several years, several decades, and I tell a story all the time about my 30th birthday. Girl I was dating my 30th birthday took me to the Baton Club in Chicago. And I went, I don't want to fucking go here, dude. You had to drag me out. I had the best time. It was the best. It was a drag show. Fucking awesome. I think now it's the novelty. Now it's people have no idea who they are. So they have to jump on this cause for shit. I mean, it's like, it's like anything else, any trend or fad. It's people are just doing it to belong. I don't think they believe in this shit. So, and the biggest problems are the mothers, the fucking insane mothers. Oh, 3 out of my 4 children are trans, and they're all under like 10 years old. No, you deserve a fucking axe to the face. Fuck you. Yeah. You are polluting your children. They're the type that, oh, you're sick, honey. Here's that Munchausen syndrome or whatever it is. But yeah, the phobic shit. No, dude, it's Boys Town in Chicago during the day is great. Go there at night, not a fucking chance, man. The overt, overly homosexual, flamboyant male is awesome to be around. But my God, are they handsy? They cross boundaries like crazy. Grab your ass, stroke the back of your head. It's like, dude, would you fucking stop it? I don't have a problem with you, but you're being a little bit of an asshole. So I've never had a problem with homophobia at all. I don't hate any of them. All boils down to when you make your agenda more forceful, more important than mine. I can't live, eat, sleep, breathe, or shit now because apparently I'm straight. I couldn't go into a store and say, hey, I just fucked a heterosexual woman and we had heterosexual sex and it was great. And I put my penis in her vagina. Did a little bit of anal too, but it's okay. And man, we had heterosexual sex. Can't do that. Because you're like,
You can't do that.
no. Can't.
Which is odd because I remember when I first moved to Brooklyn, like my first job when I touched down in Brooklyn, I worked at a restaurant. The food is literally delicious. It's called Meckelberg's. If you're ever in Williamsburg, it's it's insanely expensive for the dining experience. It's not like high class dining, but it is really good. You can get the porchetta. Anyways, we're talking about a staff of, I don't know, 30, 35 people. And we had like 10 transgenders on the staff, right? And that was before, I wasn't overtly political or anything like that. But my point is, I get some people who are like, well, even my dad, bro, he's like, well, you just watch too much Tucker or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, I like Tucker, whatever, no big deal. But I literally lived through this. I didn't need somebody to tell me you should hate those people. I'm like, you people, they would work at the restaurant and talk about their hormone regimens and talk about their weekend and say things that, like you just said, a straight person wouldn't be able to go in and just do that instantly. And before I even moved to Brooklyn in San Francisco, there was like, to your point, the drag shows, right? Like I remember a bunch of college girls, they used to go to, I never actually went, right? But these college girls used to go to their birthday parties at these drag clubs and stuff. I remember distinctly hearing the stories of, them closing down the bar and leaving at 3 a.m. or whatever. And the drag queens would leave the club in a sweatsuit, like a regular person. And back then, without dating myself too much, 2009 or whatever, it wasn't overtly like, you're going to believe me or I'm going to hurt you.
Right.
We would see people on the buses, bro, a 6'3" guy on the bus wearing like a size 14 high heel. And we all just had a good laugh. And that was before it became this like obey or we're going to harm you thing. So somewhere along the line, it just turned up.
Did you not give those people a wide berth? Because like if there was a clear indication I remember being a kid and Boy George, and I was like, is that a girl? You couldn't tell, right? You could not tell. When people stopped making an effort, when you had the 5 o'clock shadow and the very disturbing lipstick on and the wig and the dress, hairy legs and heels, it's like, okay, I'm not going to laugh at you because you're clearly having fucking emotional issues. We left them alone. We gave them a wide berth. That's fine. The last, last time I was in Boys Town a couple of years ago, there was a Chinese guy walks past me in a dress, long hair. I mean, fit, looked great. I'm like, that's an attractive woman until I got within about 15 feet and said, holy shit, didn't even bother to fucking shave today. It's like, okay, yeah. I get it. But I'm not about to go, ew, brother, no. I'm not about to do that. I'll do it, be like, come on. Yeah, I mean, whatever. But when did it's now at the point where we gave you your space. And it's for all the shit, right? It's for all the shit. Hey, I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're, Hispanic, Italian, white, whatever. Now it's, you will acknowledge me. Wait a second. I just walked past you, Eric. You didn't stop and say, you look really pretty today. You will fucking acknowledge my existence as a woman. That entitlement? It's like, okay, I've never done that in anything. Hey, Eric, I'm employed. I contribute properly to society. I've never been arrested. You will acknowledge me. It's like, do you have any idea how dumb you sound just saying that?
Where did that come from? Is it
I
Twitter?
don't know.
Like where did that come from?
I don't know. I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble for this one. Ready?
I'm ready.
I think it came from mothers. I think it came from the housewife. Oh, I'm going down. I'm forming a thought in action. So bear with me, people. I think that this is my words, not Eric's. So I think it came from the women who wanted that, like, I've been working all day while you're at work taking care of the kids and blah, 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 blah. That's your fucking job. I think it stemmed from there. And that had a hand in feminism. And I think it came into, like, it just, if you've ever seen the movie, I haven't seen the full movie, but I keep seeing the scene from Fences with Denzel Washington, but it was also it was a remake of the play that James Earl Jones did. And where the son goes, do you like me? And they're, the dad is going, like you. I put food on my on your table and clothes in your back. I don't do it because I like you. I do it because it's my responsibility. It's like, why does everybody want acknowledgement for what they're supposed to fucking do? So I think that's where it starts. I'm blaming women for it.
That's a fair assumption. I genuinely don't know, and nothing is off the table. And as we know by now that, the truth can certainly be stranger than fiction, but it sounds weird. Like, okay, over the past, we'll say I'd say my gauge is 2011. Something happened with Twitter, the algorithm, and this need to go viral, and whatever the hell was going on. These completely astroturfed ideologies were airdropped in by. Look, as long as we're going completely like conspiratorial, like, I would it be out of the possibility for somebody like Soros or his ilk to have control of, to put money behind a certain person, money behind a certain personality, a certain tweet, and make that stuff go viral until people, they create these self-fulfilling prophecies, like we talked about last week with the black girls who drink the beer off the table, and then the white couple says, "I don't like you." So it gets into somebody boost it, so then it gets into the trending, and then the rest of the population thinks it's trending and thinks it's popular, and the cycle continues, but it's all completely fake. And there's the dead internet theory, right, where it's mostly bots and people don't know what's going on. Because I will say this too, when I was in downtown Houston last week, and I think we spoke about this, it becomes clear that there's obviously a difference between what we are fed on social media and talking to people face to face. It's just not the same.
Oh yeah. I don't get. There's the echo chamber's insane. Like, I don't. Was I watching this whole new thing with? I found the audio because I didn't understand it. People are making a massive deal. They'll take one thing, right? And I talked about this yesterday with Mark Lobliner and Alan on their show. You got Trump, who says his daughter's attractive. He would date his daughter. He would do this, and everyone loses their. That's the response of people who are like, well, Joe Biden raped his daughter. Yeah, well, Trump said that he would date his daughter. It's like, okay, great. Can we talk about the crime that happened in this? No, but Trump did. I think it's kind of like the same thing with the bot, especially with bots and whatnot. I think that people, what is it? If you say a lie big enough, long enough, loud enough, people believe it. I think they're taking that to the biggest extreme now. I haven't heard this yet. I wanted to play this. This is Kamala Harris is asked a question, and I guess how she answers now. People are giving her massive accolades for saying a specific word.
You have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that fucking door down.
So apparently she's the greatest thing in the world now all over Twitter because she dropped an F-bomb. And that's where they're going with that.
It's fake. And I have been I'm obsessed with two things on social media at this particular point in time. One is the Oakland Police Department.
Oh, why?
Because they post the same 5 or 6 images. Like, they post the same thing basically every week. Like, they might throw in a new one, and they're investigating claims of racism from 12 years ago, not last week, right? A claim of racism from 12 years ago concerning a woman who wasn't a cop at the time. And they don't tell you what she said. So you're never going to know. So that's one thing that I'm like obsessed with following, because you could Google it right now. Oh, Oakland robbery, Oakland theft, and you're gonna come up with a dozen stories, and they're gonna sugarcoat that. So that's one thing that I'm like obsessed with. But then the second thing is Kamala Harris's Instagram, right? Mamala. Okay, if you go to her,
is that like your guilty pleasure? Being obsessed with that now?
I guess so, bro. Because first of all, people, the ladies, the left wingers, the weirdo establishment hack black shills at Essence magazine. They will always eat their own. So they do a post like, nobody's your mama. Like, they take this like weird, like, because the whole Drew Barrymore thing. You need to be mamala for the country.
Yeah.
But you guys, first of all, Kamala Harris calls herself that. So that's what I assume that's where it came from. Drew Barrymore didn't make that up on the fly. But you guys are on the same team. And then Essence says, well, that was racism. And then you go through Kamala Harris's posts, and I think it's because I've saved too many of them to like make videos about later or something. But basically, every time I open up Instagram, Kamala Harris pops up first. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the algorithm. I don't know what's going on. But you can see that almost every post, almost every comment is critical. So you got the Palestine people who are constantly posting watermelons and Gaza stuff. And then you got the right wingers who are calling her out. And the rest is like literally bots. Oh, sign up for Mary's Forex trading, or sign like it, no. There's not one person. I guess is the crux of my observation here is that nobody says, "Oh, that was a great job. Like I can't wait to vote blue. You've done good on X, Y, and Z." There is only, as we have discussed, there's only blind allegiance and aggressive opposition and bots. But nobody actually backs this woman, and they're trying to copycat Trump, and they want to go to restaurants and all this stuff. And you look at the comments, and it's like I'm not even joking. Maybe they cleaned it up by now, but like 20 comments of different people commenting for you to follow the same Forex trader. But I don't think that's what it looks like if you go to Trump. Sure, you're going to see some deranged leftists. Sure, you're going to see some bots, but you're going to have thousands of comments of people like giving the thumbs up or USA flag, which seems a little more authentic than the weirdos in the comments of the Kamala Harris section. And now she drops an F-bomb. So if anybody thinks that's good, I'd be willing to bet they are either on the payroll. You got all the urban radio DJs. It's all completely fake. And they are trying to, and they've been doing this for years, right? They're trying to make you think you are in the minority. Even in 2019, 2020, when they try to make you think you were in the minority, you weren't. And it's even more obvious now. So for the millionth time, is voting real or not?
No, I think it's predictive programming. I think as much as I don't think voting would solve a problem at all, or I do think that if you had ID voting, that would. I really do. I think if you had an ID and it was in a database where it's like, oh no, you voted already in Cook County. What are you doing here voting over here? It's like, that'd be done. And then you'd be arrested for fraud. I think that should be done. I think that now it's predictive programming because it's somebody, because if Biden wins again, it's going to be like, okay, well, social media was so overwhelmingly for him. Yeah, I guess he did get 92 million votes or whatever. They're saying the new suspected conspiracy theory is that Boeing is being, like, you're hearing so much shit about doors falling off and whistleblowers being knocked off and this and that, because that's how they're going to take out Trump. They're talking about the fact that his plane is a Boeing plane. And so God forbid it goes down. We're just going to be like, oh, well, yeah, they were talking about these recalls and doors flying off and engines flying off in the middle of the sky or whatever. So I think it's all predictive programming. Secret Service, you don't need to pay me a visit. I'm just passing on what I heard. I think that's what they do is they go online and they do all this shit so that you for some strange reason, it becomes, fuck. The hell is it? It's suggestive, right? It's these aren't the droids you're looking for, is what this is. So that, man, Kamala Harris is, she is one of the people. She is black. She is Mamala. That cackle doesn't bother me. It's, oh my God. I still cringe when I think of poor Hillary Clinton. I mean, imagine amassing all that power and status and having all those people killed on your way to the top just to be usurped by Kamala Harris. Fuck. What a slap in the face. Oh.
Yeah, almost makes you feel bad. Almost makes you.
Yeah, dude. It's like you're Hillary Clinton. You're putting together, like, how many people did she have to go? It's handbag. Yeah, I need you to go pull a $2.50 Happy Meal on John Doe.
And I also noticed this term allegedly, right? So Hillary Clinton, allegedly, like, oh, it's not true. These are crazy pizza, frazzle drip, whatever conspiracy theories. And I noticed the word allegedly shows up. So when in this recent story about the transformer and the car accident that murdered the guy, and several stories say allegedly, which fine, okay, innocent until proven guilty. But then when I look at the story of the black Texas mayor who received a noose, they don't say allegedly. So you can talk about a man allegedly running over a person twice, kissing him and stabbing him multiple times, allegedly. But when there's a 60-year-old black man in Houston who says, "Oh, I got a noose," it's the same thing with a dog walker in San Francisco. They found a noose, but there's no allegedly there. That's just to be taken as fact, right? So that I think kind of aligns with this Kamala Harris stuff and this gaslighting. So you can look at her post and say, "Oh, 5,000 comments," but when you read them, you realize, "Oh, this isn't even real." But they will not throw the word allegedly in anywhere in there because you're just supposed to wear it.
You would think people would have common sense and they would discern properly. And I started catching myself a couple of years ago where I read headlines only, and even from conservative content. And I'd be like, "Oh my God." And then I'd be like, "The fuck? Why did you just knee jerk to that? Are you stupid? You're being stupid right now." So I don't know, because you can't take, and I think it's Nikki Haley had the plan of registered social media. And part of me was like, I don't know, dude. I might be okay with nobody having anonymous social media. If I'm kind of torn on this one, and I don't know the repercussion flip side of this coin, but if every social media profile account was public and you were actually socially responsible for your fucking words, maybe shit would change. I wouldn't change because I've been public for years and I'm very accountable for my own fucking words. But how many people couldn't hide behind the face of a cartoon character or a Pepe the Frog and then go post as John Doe 1 2 3 4 and, "Oh, your mother's a bot," and then it's like you'd have to have some accountability. That may change things. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, it definitely seems reasonable. I haven't looked into it enough, but I mean, we spoke earlier this episode about these huge YouTube accounts that hide behind an avatar. And again, I'm not knocking him at all if a liberal hive mind ever sees this. He does great work, but you're still playing their game. You are still saying, okay, well, okay, you don't want to be famous. Like if you have 2 million subscribers and you don't want people to know, okay, I guess so. But if you're going to tiptoe, if you're going to walk on eggshells, if you're going to be scared that some left wingers are going to come up, then you're still capitulating. And unfortunately, I'm not at that level, but pull up then. Let's do it. Right. I mean, I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to say whatever it is I want because you can't, who you can't talk about, but it's like my face is still showing. And I've literally been canceled for not condemning Kanye West by quote unquote conservative media. That's a completely different story. But we're at the point now where there is no more hiding. There is no more, walking on eggshells. If you want to do, and I would say the same thing about Trump, bro. Okay, he should say whatever the hell he wants to say, and then try to take him to jail. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. There's enough pussyfooting around, beating around the bush. Let's just.
I think he wants to. I think he wants to go to jail because that will start shit. Because he can't say, "Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, storm the Capitol." He can't say that. But what he can do is he could take the biggest one for the team, and sadly, that wouldn't be jail. It would be something else. And then watch all of his supporters go, "We're fucking done. We're done." Jailing him might, if they jailed him even for 30 days, that solidifies his win. It does. It's because there are enough people I truly think that will vote for him in silence because they're like, this is wrong. I'm for progression. I'm for change, but I'm not for this political weaponization at all. And if they're smart enough, they know what the damage this is going to do.
And I think we have hit the wall. I mean, when I talk to a Shake Shack worker, a young, I don't know, maybe 25-year-old black girl at Shake Shack, and she tells me, she's like, "Oh, I like," she's trying to like hide it from her coworkers, like, "Oh, I like Trump. I would definitely vote for him." And like, this is crazy. So I think people aren't quite as dumb as the media would like us to believe, but they're still beaten into submission by the media. hopefully we've hit the wall. And maybe this sounds a little bit apples to oranges, but think about Bumble, right? The dating app Bumble, where women were supposed to make the first move. They eliminated that. That to me sounds like we're hitting the wall culturally and going back the other way because it doesn't work.
See, ladies, fucking you need a man. You need a man to do shit. Yeah, because probably psychologically women were like, they don't want to make the first move. They want to feel chased and pursued. Oh, fuck yourselves. You come to daddy or don't come at all. All right. Hey, talk about that book again you got.
Yes, New York. I should have one right here. New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued. It is it only gets better with age. It really does. It was crazy then. It's even crazier now. 260 full color, 8.5 by 11 pages, documenting the demise of New York. And I still have so many pictures. I might actually make a part 2, but I want to sell out part 1 first. So go get that book on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble if you like that.
Go to Spreely.video and Spreely.com and check out Report and Opine. The clips there, they're phenomenal. You need to, and you support all things Spreely. Go to Spreely.com. Check out the social media platform, all the other shows, like Report and Opine, the Burn Pit Podcast, Shannon Joy Show, Don't Unfriend Me Show, Wake Up America with Austin Peterson, and much, much more. Guys, have a fantastic day today. Don't be a bot. Just don't have the balls to say what you mean and mean what you say. And congruency is phenomenal. Oh, my God, it's integrity. All right, have a great damn day, guys. See you tomorrow.